things. So one of the things that she asked the court, and that her mother's lawyer actually asked that they put in place immediately, is the fact that she'd be allowed to get her own counsel that represents her, that she chose, that can give her the information that she needs, like the fact that she could have petitioned to end this conservatorship whenever she wanted.
Yeah, and to me that feels like the only fair thing to do. At least let the woman decide that, who represents her. Okay, I know you said this is going to be a long process, but where do we go from here?
We go to hearings next. She asked to end the conservatorship, and she asked to end it very specifically without a psychiatric evaluation, which usually there would be something like that. There would be evaluations, probably several, and this would be an ongoing process. So, the reason for the conservatorship was to make sure that the person who is the conservatee, Britney Spears in this case, is taken care of. That her business decisions, that her personal decisions, that she is not harming herself in any way, and that she is not losing control of any of these aspects. So the courts take this very seriously, and so to undo it, to unwind all this, takes a long time. Yeah. So this is going to be, we're talking months, if not years, to undo something like this. We don't know how quickly this is going to go. Obviously, yesterday the judge heard something for the first time that she'd never heard from Britney Spears before, about how abused and traumatized she is. So that might help speed up this process. But next thing we're going to is hearings, and we don't even know when those next hearings are set.
All right, Jason, thanks for an update on that. That was a lot to unpack.
Sure thing. Take care.
All right, see ya. ABC's Jason Nathanson. And in the beginning, we all saw Britney's very public meltdown with the shaving of the head and everything. And maybe at the time, it could have been viewed that a conservatorship was a good thing. Maybe you thought somebody like that has reached some breaking point in their life, whatever it is, and needs some help. And when you've got somebody that high profile, worth that much money, with kids, and you think to yourself, okay, maybe this person does need some guidance. I could argue that the conservatorship started out as a good thing for her, started out as a way to protect her, but man, then to keep it going for 13 years and give her counsel that the conservatorship chooses, and to make her stay on birth control. I don't know if she asked to come off of it. I don't know. To make her take lithium once she figured out she was on it. Did she want off of it? Those will all be questions as well. But we'll see what a judge has to say. The fact that she's traumatized and demoralized by it, like Jason said, even those two words are such buzzwords that a judge will consider. And did this conservatorship take it too far? Is this what Britney needed back in 2008? Does she need it in 2021? Those will be the kinds of things that they try and assess. All right, let's get back to some of the stories coming out of the KFI 24-hour newsroom. And by the way, we still are waiting for that news conference out of Florida on the building collapse there. It was a partial building collapse, a 12-story building. Just one side of it just is in rubble. It's like somebody came along and just sliced a piece off, and it's all broken apart now. Looks like a tornado tore through and hit one piece of a building, and the rest of it's still standing. But we're waiting for this news conference coming up hopefully at any moment. The chief of the Border Patrol says he's been forced out of the job less than 2 years since taking it. Rodney Scott got the job in January 2020, and officials say he embraced former President Trump's policies, especially building a border wall. President Biden has shelved the wall's construction. The family of a former high school cheerleader in Pennsylvania says the win in the Supreme Court case against her school district protects free speech for all students. Brandy Levy says she didn't even know the ruling had come down yesterday.
I went on Twitter and it said breaking news, and I read it and I was like, oh my God. And then I was yelling.
Levy was suspended from her school's cheerleading team for posting a rant on Snapchat in 2017 that had a bunch of F-bombs in it. She was mad because she didn't make the varsity squad. The Supreme Court has ruled the school violated her First Amendment rights by punishing her. And remember, the rant that she went on was off campus. And that was a big deciding factor in it. She did not do this on the campus grounds. 9 people have been busted in an undercover prostitution sting in La Quinta near Palm Springs. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department says several law enforcement agencies were involved in the operation. It says they put fake ads on websites used to solicit online prostitution, and people who responded to those ads were arrested. 8 men and a woman are in custody. A man's been arrested in Thousand Oaks after leading cops on a chase in a car he allegedly stole in Pomona. The cops started chasing him in Glendale last night, where he got on the 101. The chase went through Newberry Park and into Thousand Oaks, where the guy stopped on the freeway, finally gave himself up. And some homeowners in Anaheim have raised concerns about a private proposal to put a large solar farm in Anaheim Hills. Anaheim's Lauren Gold says the proposal is part of a state program that requires cities to buy the power if private companies build the farm.
If this project is approved, it will consist of 110 dual-axis solar trackers that will be installed on the hillside there and will generate about 3 megawatts of power.
Gold says some homeowners are okay with the idea of more renewable energy, but the proposal is in the very early planning stages. She says if approved, this would be one of the first large solar farms in Orange County to be put in an urban area. All right, when we come back, well, that was fast. Did you hear the story I filed yesterday morning about Frontier Airlines charging passengers a COVID recovery fee? It was $1.59. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're buying a ticket, really? More taxes and fees? Well, later in the afternoon, Frontier all of a sudden said, oh, never mind about that COVID recovery fee. So we'll talk about its change of heart. And Coke. Remember the campaign that it had where you could go get a Coke with your name on it or your husband's name on it, whatever. Well, then Coke decided, hey, let everybody put a slogan on their Coke bottle. I don't know who their marketing people are, but I don't think they thought through that plan very well, and I'll explain where everything went awry in just a few minutes. Right now, let's take a look at this crash on the 14.
Vasquez Rocks on the 14th South just after Escondido Canyon. 2-car crash, both of which made it to the right shoulder. You will find some slowing, though, at Crown Valley Road. Lakeview Terrace on the 210 east at Osborne. Solo car spin out here. That car facing the wrong way and blocking the left lane at the same time. Echo Park still working on the 101 northbound after Benton Way. It's the 2 right lanes that are blocked here with the crash. It is an injury wreck, so looking at some backup here from the 110. Diamond Bar, 60 eastbound just after Grand. Crash with a big rig. It's over on the right shoulder. Little bit of slowing through that stretch. Moreno Valley just cleared a crash on the 215 northbound before East Ridge Avenue. You're still looking at some recovery from about Alessandra. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robin Banks.
This report is sponsored by Mercury Insurance. Californians save an average of $677 with Mercury Insurance. Think of all the ways you can put that money to use right now. And then head over to mercuryinsurance.com to get a free quote to see how much you could save. That's mercuryinsurance.com.
This is Chris Collinsworth. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings.
Trae Young shimmied the Hawks past the Bucks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Ice Trade led Atlanta with a 48-point double-double. Clippers big man DeMarcus Cousins was issued a technical foul nearly 15 hours after Game 2 for shoving Devin Booker. Game 3 is tonight in L.A. And Trevor Bauer struck out 10, but the Dodgers were swept by the Padres. It's the first time True Blue has been swept at Petco Park since 2010. I'm Missy Jordan.
Download the DraftKings app and use code SPORTS to get a free shot and millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit.
Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Rates subject to change without notice. Minimum loan amount requirements apply. 60% loan to value and 620 FICO credit score. Certain restrictions apply. Subject to credit approval. NMLS 3290. Loans made or arranged pursuant to a California Finance Lenders Law license number 6036970. Equal housing lender.
Wake up. I don't know how you couldn't have heard all these great home loan rates being advertised. So you've heard it, but maybe you've thought to yourself, those are awesome, but I probably don't qualify. Well, I bet you haven't picked up the phone and called IntelliLoan. Because even if you are self-employed or you just have okay credit, whatever it is, IntelliLoan can help you get that great home loan you need. In fact, right now IntelliLoan is offering a 1.99% APR with no points or lender fees, and this is even if your credit score is 620. a 1.99% APR with no points or no lender fees. And again, this is even if you just got that okay credit, a credit score of 620, or you're self-employed, IntelliLoan can help you get that great home loan. So call IntelliLoan before the rates go up. Call them at 1-800-918-6200. That's 1-800-918-6200, or just go to IntelliLoan.com.
IntelliLoan. Borrow smart.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is the only bed that effortlessly adjusts in response to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. During our lowest prices of the season, the new Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is only $8.99. Only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Designer face masks, DIY haircuts. In a world full of things you never thought possible, here's one more. Now you can get the same high-quality insurance from Allstate, but at a new low rate. Drivers who switched and saved average $718. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit Allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Reported average annual savings when switching auto by new customers surveyed who saved with Allstate in 2019. In most states, prices vary based on who you buy. Not available in every state. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Imagine for just a moment you're at the wheel of a plug-in hybrid. No, not like that. Imagine yourself in a plug-in hybrid BMW. That's more like it. Now imagine that this vehicle has the dynamic performance you expect from a BMW, made even more powerful with electric extra boost, which injects more horsepower for bursts of acceleration. And with an all-electric range long enough for local trips, backed by a powerful combustion engine, these vehicles will get you there and back with miles to spare. And you'll get there quicker with access to the HOV lane. Wow. The BMW 330e, X3 xDrive 30e, and X5 xDrive 45e plug-in hybrids. Range, power, and performance that you don't unplug to drive, you unplug to unleash.
Now through June 30th, lease a 2021 BMW 330e plug-in hybrid sedan for $439 per month for 36 months with $41.99 due at signing. Visit SoCalBMW.com today for details.
If you're like me, you can't wait to travel, but a lot of destinations want a negative COVID-19 test. That's where COVID Clinic comes in. COVID Clinic has 1-hour COVID-19 PCR tests to travel to almost anywhere in the world. They'll even help with your travel documentation. Make your trip prep easy by doing your COVID-19 testing at one of the many fast and even drive-through COVID Clinic locations near you. So whether you need a COVID-19 PCR test for travel, school, or you just want an antigen test, go to covidclinic.org. Restrictions apply. Go to covidclinic.org.
I'm Joe Torre. After 60 years in baseball, I know the breaks don't always go your way. 1 in 8 men will get diagnosed with prostate cancer. Over 34,000 will die every year. That's more than half a stadium. When you donate to the Prostate Cancer Foundation, you can help us save lives. Go to pcf.org to donate now.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded. How can you be a hospital worker and refuse to be vaccinated? I'll show you. I wonder if they wear seatbelts driving into the hospital and say no one's going to force me to wear a seatbelt or a helmet right on their motorcycle.
Bill Handel.
No one's going to tell me what to do.
Mornings from 6 to 10 on KFI.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. On a Thursday morning, I'm glad you're with me. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, and some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Of course, we're waiting for this news conference. Hundreds of emergency responders are at the site of this partial condo building collapse in Miami Beach. Authorities say at least one person has been killed, and as soon as we get more information on the collapse, I'll bring it to you. And have you seen the... It's the incredibly awkward video of Pope Francis welcoming an Italian Spider-Man to the Vatican. So imagine the Pope's going around, as he does, and he's shaking hands and everything. And he comes across the guy who is in full Spider-Man garb. I mean, the whole spandex suit, head to toe. And the Spider-Man gives the Pope another Spider-Man head mask thing So one of the skin-tight ones, even with the goggly looking things on it, they start talking. Now, apparently, the Vatican says that this man has done more than 1,000 video calls with kids in the hospital to cheer them up during the pandemic. So the guy really does sound like an amazing guy, but it's just the funniest thing, and I can't wait to look for the memes on Twitter about the Pope meeting Spider-Man. And it was awkward because Spider-Man really held on to the Pope's hand for a long time. The Pope was cool, though. He just sort of rolled with it. I'll give it to him, but it's not every day you're like, hey, Pope, meet Spidey. Spidey, Pope. So bizarre.
It's time for Biz Bites. Bites of business. Biz Bites on Wake Up Call with Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Did you hear my story yesterday that I filed for the news department on Frontier Airlines rescinding the COVID-19 recovery fee? That's not the story I filed. The story I filed said that Frontier Airlines had put on its website that it was going to start charging a COVID recovery fee. It was $1.59 per passenger per one-way flight, and they said it was to offset added costs. They were talking about things like extra cleaning of planes, the plexiglass that they were going to have at the ticket counters, the PPEs they were going to have the employees wear. Well, all of a sudden yesterday, after these headlines start breaking, Frontier Airlines puts on its website, Frontier Airlines has made the decision to rescind its COVID recovery charge of $1.59 per passenger per segment that was implemented in May. All right. They didn't really say why, but I can imagine people were upset. Because I don't care if your ticket is $29 or if it's $129. Nobody wants an extra $1.59 one way or the other when no other airline is charging it. It'd be one thing if Frontier wasn't the only airline charging that fee. If everybody across the board was charging that fee, I think it would have been more palatable, and honestly, it wouldn't have made the headlines that it did. But when you've got one airline who decides to start charging this, it feels like they're taking advantage of the situation. Whether or not they were, that's just the way it comes across. Subway's tuna sandwiches are back in the hot seat, and apparently Subway is on the hook for its tuna again after a lab report found there is no actual tuna DNA in the sandwiches and wraps. The New York Times decided that this was a subject they needed to delve into and tested 60 inches of Subway tuna sandwiches from 3 different restaurants in LA. And they reported that the tuna fish is actually a mixture of various concoctions. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. The tuna was frozen and sent out to the lab, which determined no amplifiable tuna DNA was present in the sample, so they obtained no amplification products from the DNA. Therefore, we cannot identify the species. If that's not tuna that we were all eating, I don't know. Nobody needs to eat that. That's all I'm saying. And finally, so remember the Cokes that came out a few years back? And it was a Coke with, Jennifer on it, or Sally, or, Alex, or John, or Tyler, or Daryl, whatever it was. And you could go get that Coke. Well, Coke said, hey, we've got this great new idea. Why don't we come out with slogans that you can put on the side of the Coke? Well, that would have been great, except for they would not allow Black Lives Matter on the Coke, but White Lives Matter was not blocked. Coke included a special rainbow label for Pride Month, but you can't write Gay Pride, and you couldn't write, but you could write I hate gays, Hitler and Nazi were banned, but customers could customize the bottles with phrases like I am Hitler or I am a Nazi. So needless to say, it's unclear if anyone actually purchased the bottles with the custom labels, and it's unlikely that any were produced. But Coke now says, we're continuously refining and improving our Share a Coke personalization tool to ensure it's used only for its intended purposes. And somebody in marketing probably got the X. This is KFI and KOST HD2 Los Angeles. Let's get an update now on your drive. Robin Banks heading to the 14.
Yeah, we're looking at an accident on the 14 South just before Crown Valley Road. It's a three-car smash-up, middle traffic lane block. Your trip is going to be delayed right around Soledad Canyon. KFI in the Sky is sponsored by injury attorney SuperwomanSuperLawyer.com. Jeff Boss, San Fernando Valley.
You betcha. Come on, Robin. Let me put down my tuna sandwich here. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Well, it is so spectacular out here. We're just climbing out of Van Nuys Airport. We're over the 405 101. The sun is up. We've got some low clouds in the basin. A little bit of everything. I hope you caught the moon set. It was spectacular. And so is your drive right now, believe it or not. South 405 doing quite well up and over the big hill into West LA, and under the clouds you go. And I think we're looking pretty good. Yeah, Caltrans is done on the 101. They're working all night on the eastbound side. It looks like a pretty good drive. 405 over towards the Hollywood Freeway. Do not go away. Injured in an accident, visit Superwoman, SuperLawyer.com. Jeff Ball, KFI in the Sky.
There's a wreck in Lakeview Terrace on the 210 East at Osborne. Solo car spin out. That car facing the wrong way, blocking the left lane. Your drive's going to hesitate right around Van Nuys Boulevard. KFI in the Sky helps get there faster. I'm Robin Beck.
Thinking of buying a house and want a really low interest rate? Owning has a special for home purchases, where Owning pays all your closing costs, and the rate in APR is an unheard of 1.875% for a 15-year fixed mortgage with 20% down. This is the craziest low rate for a mortgage with no closing costs that Owning has ever done. 1.875% rate in APR. Heck, we're almost paying you to live in a new house. Call 833-2-OWNING or go to owning.com to see if you qualify for this crazy low 1.875% rate. That's a fixed rate loan at 1.875% with no closing costs. Call 833-2-OWNING now because 1.875 could go away at any time.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, subject to credit approval. Offer assumes the use of lender's choice escrow and title services. Call 833-858-0066 for terms and conditions.
That's 833-2-OWNING or owning.com. 833-2-OWNING or owning.com.
An important message from Kaiser Permanente. Thanks to new federal funding, you may be among the millions of Americans now eligible for federal financial assistance to help lower your health coverage premiums, even if you didn't qualify before. That's right. You may now qualify for federal financial assistance to help lower your health coverage premiums, even if you didn't qualify before.
Call Kaiser Permanente now at 1-800-494-6261. That's 1-800-494-6261.
SoCal weather from KFI. We've got a sunny day ahead, but still cool compared to how it's going to be this weekend. So highs are just going to be in the low 70s to the mid 80s, but by the weekend we jump back into the mid to upper 90s. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee. This has been your wake-up call. Handle on the News starts now.
Handle on the News.
Handle on the News. So I knew something was wrong. I knew something special about it. You know, so
what did you do when you heard Bill Handle?
I ran upstairs. I had to run.
And now, here's Bill Handle.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Bill Handle here on Thursday morning, June 24th. And we're starting today. There's a press conference coming up, which we're probably not going to take, about that building collapse in Florida. And Jennifer Jones-Lee is going to be watching this and keeping track of it. So we'll go to that if it's more than what meets the eye. In the meantime, let me say hello to everybody. Good morning, Jennifer.
Hi, Handle.
And Wayne. Good morning. And Alex.
Morning.
Morning. And John.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
Good morning. And
you say good morning to Tyler?
Oh, Tyler. Well, Tyler's not official yet. Are you, Tyler?
I really don't know. I think I'm as official as they come, but who knows nowadays. But good morning to you.
Good morning. Tyler is part of the Mishpucha. You know that.
That means family.
Yeah. The tribe.
I did not.
Yeah. Yeah. Mishpucha is tribe. You, on the other hand, are Goyim.
No. So I should Goyim over there.
Doesn't that literally mean cattle? Goyim? I don't think so. I think it means others.
I'm an other?
You're an other, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Other.
Oh.
No, it doesn't mean cattle. Goyim does not mean cattle.
It says, according to Wikipedia, which is always right, in modern Hebrew and Yiddish, goyim is a term for a gentile, a non-Jew.
Gentile.
Gentile, sorry.
Yeah, not Gentiles are not necessarily gentile.
Ooh, I shouldn't cold read. The word's been adopted into English to also mean genteel, sometimes with a pejorative sense. Did you speak about me pejoratively this morning?
Not at all. Not at all. It's just, you just sort of, it's just what certain groups, but there was just real quick before we get to the news, there was a lawyer I worked with, and he, Japanese-American. His girlfriend was American, and they went to Japan. He had never been to Japan. And he's third generation Nisi or whatever it was. And he takes his girlfriend to Japan. She was getting her master's degree in Japanese studies and spoke Japanese dead fluently, and he didn't. And as they're walking down the street more than once, Japanese would stop and ask him, "What are you doing with that barbarian?"
Wow.
That is the way they view it. The Japanese are extraordinarily racist. It's a lot of them versus us. When you talk about goyim and all of that and the mishpocha, that's just fun. For them, it is serious stuff.
Wow.
And then she would say to whoever confronted him, saying, "I just want to let you know, he doesn't speak a word of Japanese, but I'll be more than happy to explain what you just said to him."
Wow. Talk about a slap back.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. It's Handle on the news. Let's do it. Jennifer Jones-Lee, Wayne Resnick, and me, Lee Story. Well, story that I'm looking at right now, looking at the video, a building collapses in Florida. It looks like a residential building. You know, it reminds me of the Murrah building in Oklahoma, where the whole front of it is gone. And one boy, I think, has already been pulled out of the building dead. And they've rescued some other people. We know so little about it. How many people are in the building, suspected of being in the building? Are there still rescue? Is it still rescue? Is it recovery yet? We have no idea.
Yeah, they say that all of a sudden, people, at least the witnesses and people who, were in the building at the time, say all of a sudden the thing just started rumbling. Just this horrible rumbling. And then there was this crash. It's as though Mother Nature came and took a knife and just sliced off a piece of this building. And the mayor's already come out this morning and said, this just doesn't happen. Buildings don't just, all of a sudden, one piece of them collapse in the middle of the night without some natural disaster or something like that happening.
Or a design defect of some kind, or a building defect.
And that apparently might be what,
what else could it be?
Right, that's what.
There's no earthquake, it's not an explosion.
Yeah.
It just collapsed onto itself. So obviously they're going to be doing some serious investigation.
We did have some good news though. Just before Wake Up Call started, rescuers were able to get a 10-year-old boy who was trapped under his bed frame and his mattresses. They were able to pull him out.
Oh.
So that was good. But like you said, they don't know how many people are still in the building. They don't know who they're looking for. It's still all up in the air right now. So I'm going to monitor this news conference. If they do give us some really good information, I'll bring it up.
You got it. You go ahead and feel free to interrupt us, obviously.
All right. Governor Newsom is now going to face that recall election. Only 43 signatures were withdrawn from the 1,719,900 signatures.
Yeah, it's weird the way it works with recalls. You sign a recall petition, and then you have X number of days to withdraw it. Say, I've changed my name. I don't know who else does that. Well, a big 43 out of 1.7 million said, I've changed my mind. Remember I said this recall is going to happen?
Yeah.
It's done. I mean, they had more than enough signatures. Now comes the fun part, but I'll explain that at 7 o'clock because there are some rules and I have to let you know what to expect.
Oh boy, LA County Sheriff Villanueva now wants the county to declare a state of emergency about the homeless problem. He sent a letter to the Board of Supervisors urging them to do it. Why? Then the county can apply for funding from FEMA.
and have Scott write a check.
Yeah, and Jen, has Scott ever dealt with something where the emergency wasn't the normal things that we think about, like wildfires and hurricanes and flooding, but more of a social, economic problem like homelessness?
Why don't you call him and wake him up?
I wonder if FEMA doesn't necessarily have to give any money, though, do they? Couldn't FEMA say this is not really the kind of thing you get involved in?
That's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that.
So, he's also, he held a press conference and he said it's a national disgrace. We're the wealthiest nation.
Hey guys, let me take you now to Surfside, Florida. They've started it and they're giving the information.
More than 130 units, and about half of those have collapsed. A massive search and rescue is underway, and we know that we're going to do everything we can possibly do to identify and rescue those who have been trapped in the rubble. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue is leading the efforts, and they have been on the scene since the early morning, and they're doing an amazing job. Thank you so much to our brave fire rescue workers. They have years of experience in this type of operation, and they are doing everything they possibly can do. So we need to allow them to do their work. Very important. We need to allow them to do their work because every minute in this search can make a huge difference. We've set up a family reunification hotline for those who are trying to get information about their loved ones. Call 305-614-1819. 614-1819, or you can go to miamidade.gov/emergency to report online missing persons or to check in if someone is safe. So again, 305-614-1819. Chaplains and victim advocates are on site ready to support the survivors and family members who are in need of resources. Our social service agencies as well are coming in. They are going to be here to assist in the hours and the days ahead. I'm thinking of all of our first responders. I know you are as well, and praying for their safety as they go about their difficult work of saving lives. Bueno, aquí estamos. Lo increíble que ha ocurrido. Ya sabemos que tenemos un edificio.
This has been Daniela Levin Cava. She is the Miami-Dade County Mayor. And as she said a second ago, you had 130 units in this 12-story condo complex. And at least half of these units were damaged in the collapse of this building. At this point, they're just reporting one dead, and if we get more information coming out of this, I'll bring it to you. Otherwise, let me just get you some news now, and then we will get back to the news conference.
You know what? Why don't we do this? Why don't we go, and we're going to take a break then.
Yep.
And we're going to go right into regular programming, and you, strangely enough, starting with the news, just like you said you're starting with the news that I ignored. Do I have that right?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Rescuers in Florida are trying to find anyone buried in the rubble of this condo collapse. A 10-year-old boy was pulled out alive this morning. A news conference is taking place right now. When we get more information, I'll bring it to you. President Biden's putting his 5-part plan into action, taking aim at gun violence after there was a rise in murders of 30% last year across the country. And the FDA is warning about a possible rare side effect of the COVID-19 vaccines. A CDC safety panel met yesterday and revealed there is a likely link of heart inflammation in kids and young adults to Pfizer and Moderna shots. We'll take a look at your drive in Trouble on the 5 with the Kfi in the Sky next.
The new COVID relief bill actually pays businesses up to $10,000 in tax rebates per employee per quarter. And that's a serious rebate. If you received PPP money during the pandemic, your business likely qualifies. The trouble is with these programs, how do you get your hands on the money? Well, I've told you about InnovationRefunds.com, a company that is pretty impressive. For example, they were able to obtain a 6-figure refund for me and my partner with a couple of businesses. They do all the legwork and just share a percentage of the cash they get back for you. These world-class CPAs actually crack the code. That's the magic. They crack the code on how to access these tax rebates. They've helped over 6,000 businesses get back over $450 million. Now remember, this is $10,000 per employee per quarter, and they know what they're doing. Go to InnovationRefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button, answer their questions. InnovationRefunds.com, that's InnovationRefunds.com.
Staples Connect has innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. This week, get 30% back in Staples Store bonus when you buy any 2 ink cartridges. In-store only offer N626, limit 4. Visit staplesconnect.com/store bonus. Staples Connect, the working and learning store.
SoCal weather from KFI. Sunny day ahead with highs from the low 70s to the upper 80s. This report is brought to you by your Staples stores. Let's check this trouble spot on the 5.
It's going to be in Irvine on the 5 northbound at Jeffrey Road. It is a vehicle fire. Looks like a semi had some fire in it. Fire crews are on scene. The right lane's going to be blocked, but frankly, your drive is looking pretty good through that stretch. KFI in the Sky is sponsored by Injury Attorney, Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. Jeff Bob, Lakeview Terrace.
You betcha. Pretty good report now. If you're coming downhill on this section, the 5 out of the new Pass, you got to choose the eastbound 210. Pretty good shape. Be careful with the construction that's going on there for a long time. But just past the 118 at Osborne, there's still actually is a little bit of right shoulder activity very close to the right lane. So you'll be clear, but if you're going to get off that eastbound 210 at Osborne, just be careful. Now from there up the hill towards Latoon, it's in pretty good shape. Low clouds are obscuring part of that, but looks like a pretty easy drive. Back to the San Fernando Valley now. There's a structure fire in San Fernando. This is east of the 5. It's very close to San Fernando Road and I would say around Brand Boulevard. So the only reason I point this out, it won't affect you too much except for arriving fire and police equipment. So be careful. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Fogg, KFI in the Sky.
Crash in Acton, still working on 14 South and 4 Crown Valley Road. 3-car smash up middle traffic lane. Your trip is delayed right around Angeles Forest Highway. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robin Banks.
This report is sponsored by Grocery Outlet. From now until the end of July, be sure to stop in your local grocery outlet to participate in their 11th annual Independence from Hunger Drive. When you donate $5 in cash or donation bag, they will give you a $5 coupon for a future visit. Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. NMLS ID 128231. Equal housing lender. Not licensed in all states including New York. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions. As everyone knows, home values have skyrocketed. Chances are your home has gained a ton of equity. Why not use your home's equity to upgrade your house? How about a new pool in your backyard or a new kitchen? Turn your home's equity into cash with a cash-out refinance loan from Cash Call Mortgage. If your mortgage interest rate doesn't start with a 2, we may be able to lower your mortgage rate and get you cash. See just how low our rates are at cashcallmortgage.com. Get started on upgrading your house with a cash-out refi from Cash Call Mortgage. For a free quote to see if you qualify, go to cashcallmortgage.com. Or call us today. Call 800-633-0861. That's 800-633-0861. 800-633-0861.
Want to know the secret to making sure everything at Ralph's is fresh? Secret shoppers. Guys we hire to expertly inspect our produce department in every store. Their mission is to ensure we have the freshest bananas, lettuce, and more. Now that the secret is out, you know what else is? Tomatoes that are fresher than fresh. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
Now it's even easier to save on your favorites with delivery and free pickup. Just visit Ralphs.com or the app today. Restrictions apply. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
SolarMAX Technology is going to work with you to create a system that fits your budget.
This is SolarMAX's best offer yet, a package that includes a solar system and home battery backup for $69.98 a month, and with an APR as low as 0.99%.
Go to SolarMaxTech.com. Monthly payment available on approved credits. CSLB 97204.
We've spent a lot of time playing solo the past year. COVID-19 vaccines are helping us jump back into the things we love. With the people we love. They're safe and effective for everyone 12 and above. Which means we're one step closer to getting the whole band back together.
All right, guys, let's rock. 2, 3, 4.
Make an appointment at myturn.ca.gov today.
As life returns to normal, our worries have not disappeared, but evolved. CalHope offers free COVID-19 emotional support. Call 1-833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
You don't want to mess with the IRS. They have the power to garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. That's all true, but thankfully they're offering a way out, the Fresh Start Initiative. If you qualify, you could save thousands. The experts at Optima Tax Relief will fight to get you the best
best deal possible. And they have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Call Optima for your free consultation. Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. Optima Tax Relief. For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. It's an all-thrill summer at San Manuel Casino. The chance to win big this season is heating up with $1.5 million in prizes up for grabs this June.
New winners are guaranteed to walk away with $100,000 in cash during our $600,000 Sunny Day Prize Wheel promotion. Join us every Saturday and Sunday for a chance to win huge prizes each week. Earn entries with Club Serrano each time you play.
All-thrill summer today. Only at SoCal's #1 casino, San Manuel. Details at sanmanuel.com. Must be 21. Please gamble responsibly.
Hey, California.